Welcome to the Leap Into Livestream for Small Business podcast. I'm your host, Dawn Chubey, and here we talk about all things video, live streaming, social selling, and essentially future-proofing your business in the digital age. If you love content like this, you are a small business owner who is trying to navigate the future, I encourage you and invite you to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. Let's get into it. Imagine being, I think it's 355 years old, definitely over 350 years old, and not seeing the shift happening right in front of you, or worse, seeing it and not being willing to look ahead far enough because you're so deeply rooted in so much history and legacy that you think your past and existing clout will be enough to make you invincible. That is what's happening in Canada with the Hudson's Bay Company, affectionately known as the Bay. But here's the thing, it's not just about the Bay, it is about you. What happens when the legacy of your brand isn't enough to keep customers coming back? Today, we're talking about future-proofing your business in a digital-first world and what I think HBC should be doing if they still have the opportunity to turn things around. Now, for those of you new in the room, maybe you're not from Canada, the Bay or the Hudson's Bay Company is one of the oldest brands in North America, and yet it is struggling. In fact, it's up for sale and all but dead. In fact, CBC is marking the sale as the demise of traditional department stores in Canada. But why is that? Well, it's because the retail landscape has changed and consumer behavior has changed. They got stuck with tradition, and I'm going to argue maybe more than a little complacent. Even Nordstrom pulled out of Canada. If they couldn't make it work, what chance did the Bay have without aggressive innovation? You can only bank on your name for so long. So if a brand with over 350 years of history can collapse, any brand can. Real talk time, what are you doing to adapt? Being digital first, it's not optional anymore. It's not an add-on. It's the foundation, in my humble opinion, of survival. And here's the thing, HBC, I think probably could have survived if they embraced some more modern strategies, some of what I'm going to share with you right now. Leveraging brand trust for a digital relaunch. They could still do that, and maybe the new buyer will. Buying a Canadian live shopping hub, really focusing on Canadian brands first, turning retail into an entertainment experience instead of a frustrating one. Maybe even using a little bit more AI for personalization and additional customer experience, as well as monetizing digital space instead of or in addition to physical space. So let's break these down and see how you as a small business can apply some of these strategies as well. Strategy one, leveraging brand trust for a digital relaunch. Let's face it, HBC, over 350 years, they have a lot of brand awareness and trust and assets that frankly are years in the making. They take a long time to build. But instead of reimagining their brand as a multi-channel experience, they really clung to outdated retail models. Now, the question is, what could they have done and what might you consider doing? They could have, and they might still, if they get the right buyer or decide to do an overhaul, create an HBC online experience, a curated space for loyal customers to shop via shoppable video, live streams, and otherwise interactive content. They could also leverage influencers and ambassadors. Now, Nordstrom didn't make it here in Canada, as I said, but it's frankly still pretty strong in the US. And guess what? They have been leveraging live social shopping, shoppable video for years as part of their marketing strategy with their Nordstrom Live Hub. I invite you to check it out. You just search out Nordstrom Live. Not only is it great content, but the products are directly shoppable while the shoppers watch. Oh, and by the way, those replays live on. So it's like having an on-demand salesperson and customer service whenever you want it. Frankly, the lack of which has been a big problem for the Bay over the last, I'm going to say, decade. Here's your takeaway as a small business. If you have built trust or you're in the process of building it because you're new, use it to launch new digital experiences that will also help you build trust. Stop relying on repeat customers if you're not giving them a fresh, engaging reason to come back. Strategy 2, build a Canadian live shopping hub. Imagine if Hudson's Bay had positioned itself as the go-to digital marketplace for Canadian brands. They still could, especially as this iconic Canadian department store. In addition to renting out mall space, they could also have been selling live digital storefronts, letting local brands go live and sell in real time on an HBC hosted platform, or HBC could have their own live shopping, I'm going to say, specialist to be able to navigate the different brands and offerings at the Bay. What if HBC partnered with Shopify or their existing e-commerce platform to create an interactive live shopping platform featuring Canadian direct-to-consumer brands? So this would be brands that are not necessarily available in store, but they become that conduit for some of those direct-to-consumer brands. Genius, in my opinion, but hey, what do I know? And so this helps leverage their name to create a shopping experience, not just a transaction. Here's your small business takeaway. You actually don't need a massive retail empire to do this. You can build micro experiences. You can start with Instagram Live if you're, well, many of us in Canada aren't in the States, but if you were, you could leverage TikTok Shop, YouTube Live to showcase your products in action. Strategy 3, turning retail into an entertainment experience. We all know content is king, and it's how we keep people engaged. Engagement eventually turns into brand loyalty, trust, and eventually sales. But retail today isn't just about selling products, it's about engaging and entertaining customers, right? What's going to make them tune in and join you? Just like you had to think before, what does it take to get someone to walk into your store? What if HBC had doubled down on media-driven commerce? They could have created so many things. Shoppable style segments. Imagine fall fashion trends from Canadian designers. Boom. That could also become a shoppable video, but also be live, right? Drive expert demonstrations. So imagine you're sitting at the Clinique counter or maybe in the home decor area, and they bring in one of their designers to go through style tips and decor tips. Hey, people want to buy what they see. I know that. I lived that space in the home shopping world. And then there's, of course, the world of tech. There are so many opportunities for demonstrations, product comparisons, and because everything is available at the Bay, there's lots of opportunity for the Bay to make money as well as those retailers. Now, you could also do behind the scenes content. So meet the designer, learn a little bit about the inspiration behind this Canadian design, and maybe even get some great style tips right from the source. Instead of static product listings, they could really give customers a reason to come back daily, to watch, to learn, and to shop in real time when that inspiration hits. So how does this apply to you as a small business? Remember, content sells. Your customers, they want connection, education, and entertainment. And if you're direct to consumer, those things are really hard. That one-to-one connection, that meet the designer, the face behind the brand, is really important for instilling trust. Start showing up consistently with video, even right now. Offer behind the scenes content and interactive experiences if you're ready to level up. Strategy 4, of course, you can leverage AI for personalization and additional customer experience. Past purchases, that's the kind of information you can find out using AI, shopping habits, customer preferences. And of course, all of this can help build almost like a virtual consultation experience that can be leveraged using AI. Just remember though, people want to feel like they're shopping with a trusted friend, not a faceless brand, which is why I'm a big fan of live social shopping, bringing that personal touch, even direct to consumer. Strategy 5, monetizing digital space instead of or in addition to physical space. So bringing it back to HBC, they've owned prime retail locations, but what if they'd also leveraged their digital real estate? They could have sold premium digital storefronts. Brands could have paid for live shopping slots on HBC's platform, featured product placement in a shoppable live stream, a curated selection maybe by a popular influencer, a stylist, a makeup artist, whatever it is. And again, those takeovers with those influencers and ambassadors could also happen on HBC's social channels. People are shopping directly within that content when that inspiration hits. So what does that mean for you as a small business? If you own an audience, and I always encourage you to leverage your own IP. This is your own digital real estate. Your website is kind of it, right? We don't really own social media, even though it's free. So it's always good to use your own social media in addition to your own site. So monetize that website, your email list. Again, your collaborations with other brands could also happen on social media. I have 3 really important questions that you need to ask yourself. But before I do, please subscribe to the Leap Into Livestream for Small Business podcast. This really helps me keep this content going, and share with a fellow business owner. Okay, ask yourself this. Are you assuming past customer loyalty will keep you alive? Here's the hint, it won't. Are you making live and video shopping a priority now, or are you waiting until it's too late, or is it not even on your radar? Are you adapting before you're forced to? Are you thinking ahead and being proactive? The problem is a lot of brands wait until they're in crisis mode, and often they rarely recover. Future proofing your business starts now. If you need help getting visible, maybe selling more, maybe getting camera confident, leveraging social commerce, I really want to help you out, and I'd love to chat. I have a lot of free resources at livesellingSchool.com. I've got a small business guide. I've got a PR and marketing guide. I've got a lot available. And so I invite you to go to livesellingSchool.com. If you want just general camera confidence and you want to work with me on maybe helping perfect your pitch, you can also reach me at donchube.com. I've got lots of little services out there available for you as well that can make a big impact. That is it for today's episode. Once again, please subscribe to the podcast. And I really hope that you take to heart what has happened to one of the biggest retailers here in the country. As small businesses, it's hard enough to compete, but you have lots of tools available to you, and there's no reason not to be brave. What do you have to lose? What do you have to lose? Stay ahead, stay visible, and stay selling. And thank you for watching and listening.